Every time I talk to people about crisis communication, they are surprised to learn that there is a way to effectively do it. They assume that the people who are managing a crisis and communicating about it either have a knack for it or they just do it naturally, and the others just don't do it well. But there are really principles to follow. There are techniques and there are things that we can do as an organization to prepare for one so that we're not caught off guard and we're not one of those organizations that fail in the crisis communication role. There are varying levels that we see in the news play out all of the time that where a company is affected, and sometimes it's to a lesser degree, but there's still some type of an effect, some type of loss on the part of that company, whether it's reputation or just individual perspectives about how they operate, to the larger crises that we see play out all the time, more memorable ones like Toyota and BP and various other ones that didn't go so well, as well as those that went really well, like Tylenol that we often go back to in the 80s that handled it very well. In addition to crisis communication principles, the participants in the program will also learn how to work with the media, best case practices there, as well as how to do a strategic communication plan, and that gets into looking at the bigger picture of all of the different audiences that you communicate with in an organization, internally and externally, and sometimes those audiences need to hear something a little differently. So that's an important aspect. And then message development, how do you develop those messages? Individuals who would benefit from this program would be those who are top-level management, who are the leaders of the organization, or those top-tier managers who are rising into those roles, or who aspire to be in any of those roles. Those are the individuals who are called into the boardroom or who are called into the conference room in a crisis to try to figure out how best to respond and what to communicate to the public and to the stakeholders and the employees. So they're the ones who, if they have this knowledge, will be able to participate in the conversation and be a critical asset to help them through the process.